Hey everybody, it's Nate with Sauce Ain't the Boss here again, and today is day number 349 of quitting alcohol. I had a viewer leave me a comment today asking me about that emptiness you feel inside, that pit that you feel inside when you quit drinking alcohol, and asked if I had ever had it. And the answer to that is yes. I think a lot of us might have that pit or that emptiness inside, which is why we start drinking in the first place. Maybe it's there before we even start drinking. Maybe it develops after you've done something like drinking for so long, and then you finally remove that from your life, right? And then all that time and effort and that you spent drinking is now gone, and you're going, it's like a shock to your life. What do I do with this time? What do I do with myself? What do I do with these feelings, right? You're learning to feel for the first time, and who knows how long when you quit drinking alcohol. So, and not to mention the fact that when you quit drinking alcohol, your hormones are all messed up, and you're going through some physical withdrawals and that kind of thing. So, you're gonna just feel empty inside. And I wish you didn't. I wish there was, like I say, an easy fix to not have to feel that way. But that's part of this process and journey, is chasing down that emptiness inside, and that pit, for lack of a better term, that you feel when you remove the alcohol, and figuring out why that's there. Why do you feel that way? I mean, it's kind of an interesting thing if you really stop and think about it. Why do you feel empty inside? And so, I know for me, I had some things in my childhood. The way I got punished, I'd get, put in my room for a week, 2 weeks at a time, and there's a little bit of trauma caused because of that. Also, I've mentioned in some videos that I grew up kind of in a remote area with not a lot to do. So between, that, the boredom, and then just getting, sent to my room for a week, 2 weeks at a time, and as punishments for stuff. It was like being put in the corrections, the penal system at like 12 years old. You're stuck in your room with nothing to do for 2 weeks straight. You kind of go, what the hell, and I remember just not knowing how to deal in that time with boredom. I think it created a little bit of trauma in me, and I never really learned how to deal with that, And once I quit drinking, I had to face that. I had to look at that. And a realization happened where, those things came up, from my childhood that happened. And I realized that was a big part of me not being able to deal with boredom, not being able to deal with not doing something, and but I would have never saw that if I kept on drinking. That's the thing, you're able to figure out where this stuff comes from. And once you see it and you start to, be aware of it, you can resolve those things and they start to fade and that kind of thing. So, maybe you had that pit like I did before you started drinking, and maybe you, turned to alcohol at an early age to kind of fill that up a little bit, or for some of us, it's one of those things that, sometimes life was going fine, and then we got wrapped up in drinking because it was a way to party and it was a way to socialize, and then, deal with stress a little bit. One thing leads to another, then you find yourself kind of wrapped up in it way, past the point of it being okay anymore, and just drinking way too much. And then you do that for, years maybe, and then all of a sudden you take that out of your life and you're going, what the heck, what do I do now? And so I guess, the realizations that you have after you quit drinking are just going to come and flow, and you just have to see them. You have to feel a lot of this stuff out. I did one video early on about, learning to feel again, how I realized that anytime there was something that I didn't want to feel, that boredom, past issues, stress, whatever it was, I used alcohol so I didn't have to face or deal with those feelings, And so when you quit drinking, all of a sudden that stuff is there, and you have to feel it without your drug anymore. And this is what I warn about turning to other substances or other things to, like food even, to fill that void inside, to give you that comfort, because you're just trading one addiction for another. You're not chasing down and facing what it is that's causing you to feel that pit and that emptiness inside. And so the good news is, I hear this sounds like a big, I'm just going to have to feel this stuff, Nate says, and there's truth to that. Yeah, you do. But the good news is that it fades. Once you start to feel it and move past it and have realizations and understandings about yourself, and you work on being better once you put down the alcohol because you're finally able to do that, all of a sudden, that I remember that feeling being pretty present, especially in the first few months. But by like 6 months in, that really faded away a lot. And then I remember again at 9 months, it was even less. And now hitting almost a year, it's, non-existent a lot of the time. But, even today was one of those days, to be honest with you, where I kind of had that empty feeling inside flare up again. And, it's... I remember even drinking it was there though too. I mean, I think all of us, it doesn't matter if you're drinking, not drinking, you have that pit inside from time to time. And part of that's finding your purpose in life. Part of it's what are we here for, right? What are we, what's life all about? What is our existence here? You got to question that a little bit and go, why am I here? Am I doing the best I can with my time giving here? Am I seeking out the spiritual side of life? And, so there's definitely that side to it as well, the spiritual side that you have to feel and take a look at and figure out your meaning of life. And then also, maybe you feel that pit and that void because, you alcohol, like for me, was kind of the one thing that my world revolved around. That was my feel good thing. And so once that was gone, I didn't have anything right away immediately to replace it, right? And so that you do have to start building that life I talk about, where you start putting things into your life that you enjoy doing. For me, fitness and losing weight and eating healthy has been kind of one of the hobbies that I've picked up on since I quit drinking. And I figure that's a good one to do because we've let ourselves go for so long and damaged ourselves so much with the alcohol that, why shouldn't we, take care of our bodies now and lose that excess weight that we put on because of the alcohol, and, get some exercise and, maybe start taking some supplements that make sense, and just really putting a focus on your nutrition since you've depleted yourself for so long. And so that's been kind of a fun hobby to have and that kind of thing. So sometimes, when you have that emptiness, you sit and you feel it, but then there's other times to get up and do things and, start working on projects. And, life's, no matter whether you're drinking or not though, life's a roller coaster. It has its ups and downs. The only difference is when you're not drinking, you're not using a drug to numb yourself from the situation. And it's just, the alcohol is just a temporary numbness. The problem didn't go anywhere. It's going to be there in the morning and you're going to feel hungover, so it's one of those things that, you're better off, honestly, and you're going to have a better life if you learn to deal with those things without a drug and move through them. You're going to get stronger. You're not, you build a confidence and a knowing that, you're capable of, doing these things on your own without a drug. It just builds a strength and a confidence, and that's good. Just turning to a drug. I used to feel kind of pathetic when I was drinking. I felt like, I was moving backwards in my life, like I've talked about. When you're, needing a drug to deal with so many different things in your life, from stress to anxiety to boredom, and you're not dealing with these things properly, you feel bad about yourself. Now I wake up and I feel good. Like I said, quitting alcohol doesn't fix your problems, but it definitely helps you to not have new ones, and it helps you to start fixing those problems in your life head on, and gets you to a place where you're stronger and you can deal with life so much better than when you're taking a drug. And I don't I hope this video doesn't sound depressing in the sense that that you're going to feel this way and that this emptiness exists and that kind of thing. But there is parts of this journey that you just have to get through and face yourself and face these feelings and learn how to feel. I drank, like I said, every single day for 20 plus years and a large amount. So, for me to, stop doing that cold turkey like I did and start having all these feelings rush in, and all these realizations and things about myself I was seeing that I didn't like. It's kind of a heavy thing. It's kind of one of those life-changing things if you can, get through it, muster up enough strength. But I think for a lot of us, we feel that emptiness inside when we quit drinking in that pit, and we don't know what to do. And so we fight it, and we feel it, and we don't like it, and it sucks. And eventually we succumb to going back to the alcohol because we just don't want to feel or face that anymore, And I'm here to tell you that, because that's what happened to me in the past. Every time it would get, to where I didn't want to feel that anymore, and I'd go back to drinking. But once I gave it time this time, and I went the longest I'd ever been without alcohol, things started to get better. And I got on the other side of that emptiness. I got to be able to, get days and weeks, months now without feeling that way, And when that feeling does come back, it's just for a short while. Usually it maybe lasts a day and then it's gone, But it was that way when I was drinking too. So don't look at it as drinking is the cure-all for that empty feeling inside, because it's not. It's a lie. It just masks it. And, honestly, I was more miserable by far when I was drinking alcohol than anything I was even after the first day of quitting. Yes, I had some cravings. Yes, I had that empty feeling inside. But at least I could get up every day and feel good about the direction I was heading in. I could get up every day and look in the mirror and say, I didn't drink today. I didn't take a drug to deal with life. I didn't have to look at myself in the mirror in the middle of the night, covered in sweat, and wondering if I was going to make it through the rest of the night because, I had drank 2 bottles of wine and a 6-pack of beer, and my body's just struggling to survive, And so that's misery, a little bit of emptiness inside. I'll take that any day of the week versus, the misery I was in when I was drinking. So that's it for today, guys. Give that one some thought. If you're enjoying these videos, please give them a like. Subscribe to the channel if you can. And most importantly, remember, sauce ain't the boss. You are. You guys have a great day.